The land of Israel cracked under the cruel sun. 3 years without a single drop of rain. Rivers dried to the bed. Fields turned to white dust. Children cried from hunger in the dusty streets. Mothers hid the last grains of barley. King Ahab and Queen Jezebel had dragged the entire nation to the feet of Baal. The false god of storms received high altars, fresh blood, and daily praise. Prophets of the Lord were hunted down and killed without mercy. The God of Israel seemed silent. Hope died in the people's chest like a flame without oxygen. From the wild hills of Gilead rose a solitary man, Elijah the Tishbite. His mantle was rough and worn by years of desert wind. His face was hard as the rock of the desert. The word of the Lord burned in his bones day and night. He alone carried the crushing weight of confronting the bloody throne and the hatred of Jezebel. 3 years earlier, he had announced the drought with a single sentence. Now the full weight of responsibility pressed down on his shoulders like a mountain. After 3 years of absolute silence, Elijah appeared before Ahab. The king accused him with open anger and a pointed finger. Elijah answered with cold iron. "Gather all Israel to Mount Carmel. Bring the 450 prophets of Baal and the 400 of Asherah. I alone will stand for the Lord." The challenge was thrown like a sharp blade. The people climbed the mountain in a great crowd. The false prophets climbed in their colored robes and loud voices. Carmel waited under the hot and merciless sun. The prophets of Baal prepared the bull in haste. They shouted from morning until noon. They danced in frantic circles. They cut their own flesh until blood ran in streams down their arms and legs. They called on the sky with hoarse and desperate cries. Nothing answered. No fire, no voice, no spark. The sky remained closed and blue. Their God stayed mute as cold stone. Elijah called the people close to the destroyed altar. He rebuilt the stones with his own hands. 12 stones, one for each tribe of Israel. He dug a deep trench around it. He placed the dry wood carefully. He cut the bull and arranged it with precision. Then he ordered water poured over everything 3 times. The water ran down and filled the trench to the brim. Everything became soaked and heavy. It was an act of pure, silent obedience, a living reminder of the ancient covenant before the great test began. Then Elijah drew near the wet altar. He lifted his eyes to the sky and prayed with few firm words. "Lord God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, answer me today. Let this people know that you are God in Israel, and that I am your servant, and that I have done all these things at your word." Fire fell from heaven like a living lightning. It consumed the entire sacrifice. It consumed the wood. It consumed the stones. It consumed the dust. It licked up the water from the trench until it was completely dry. The people fell face down and cried with one voice, "The Lord is God! The Lord is God!" The prophets of Baal were seized without resistance. Elijah made them go down to the brook Kishon. There the sword reached them one by one. None escaped. The mountain was cleaned of false blood. Ahab heard the dry order, "Go up, eat and drink. There is a sound of heavy rain." Elijah climbed to the top of Carmel. He bowed down to the ground. He put his face between his knees and prayed in silence. The servant climbed 7 times to the lookout. On the seventh time, he saw a small cloud like a man's hand rising from the sea. Elijah shouted with force, "Go up and tell Ahab, the rain is coming with power." The sky darkened suddenly. The wind brought the heavy storm. The dry land drank the water that had been missing for 3 long years. The victory seemed complete and final, but Queen Jezebel heard everything that same day. Her eyes burned with pure hatred. She sent a quick messenger to Elijah. "May the gods do the same to me and more, if by this time tomorrow I do not make your life like one of those dead prophets." Fear pierced Elijah's chest like a sharp spear. He fled at once. He ran south without looking back. He left the servant in Beersheba. He continued alone through the hot desert. Under a solitary broom tree, the prophet fell to his knees. He asked for death with a weak voice. "It is enough, Lord. Take my life. I am no better than my fathers." Despair crushed him completely. Then an angel touched his shoulder. Baked bread in a jar of water appeared beside him. Elijah ate and drank. He slept deeply. The angel returned a second time. "Get up and eat. The journey is still too long for you." He walked 40 days and 40 nights to Mount Horeb, the mountain of God. There, in the dark cave, the voice of God came. Not in the strong wind that split the rocks, not in the earthquake that made the ground shake, not in the fire that burned the mountain. It came in a gentle, quiet breeze. Elijah covered his face with the mantle. God restored him completely. He gave a clear new mission. He said that 7,000 knees still remained in Israel that had not bowed to Baal. Elijah anointed new leaders. He called Elisha in the field. He continued the journey with renewed strength. The land began to produce again little by little. The rain brought green life once more. The people saw the power of the living God with their own eyes. Elijah grew old in silent faithfulness. His final act was a chariot of fire and a whirlwind that took him to heaven before Elisha. He left behind a legacy of fire and absolute truth, an eternal memorial that the Lord alone is God.